Welcome to Down to Dunk. I'm your host, Andrew Schleck. We're part of the Athletic Podcast Network. Today is not like I thought it would be in almost any way possible. This is my second time doing this stream. I had just a Lego catastrophe happen, and my youngest son just stormed in here, and I left like a ton of empty space on the pod. And so I just need everybody to stick with me here. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And the Fry Pod guys as well, just with life in general and everything going on, just couldn't make it. So, special pod today with the center rankings, and then I actually have my two older sons on the pod later. That's just something that they have wanted to do for a long time. They both listen to the pod, they both really enjoy it, and they both wanted to be on it. And so I actually have them on to answer some TQs. And so let's go through some of these center rankings. So first, we have Nenad Kristich, who we had at the C level, I believe. So Nenad, clearly not some great center, but one of the better centers to start with. The Thunder didn't have very many good players at the center position to start with, which is it's really interesting because you can kind of draw a through line to this beginning segment of this current era of the Thunder. And so I think it's all very interesting to me to kind of look back. Nenad was probably the first guy that was productive for the Thunder from the center position. And so he wasn't some great player. I think he averaged like 9 and 5. He protected the rim some. His nicknames are Curly and Ballistic Christic, and that's about all I've got there. But I remember being really excited for Nenad. I don't know if you guys in the chat remember Nenad coming to this team, but it was always like the Thunder needed a big. The Thunder needed a big. It's funny because that conversation really is not too dissimilar from the one that we have had around this team this time around. But brought in Nenad, he helped for a little while, and yeah, he was fine. He's a C level center, and there's a lot of those levels of players in this tier for sure. The next player, really don't get to like the 2010-11 season before things really changed from the center position. Cole Aldrich was drafted by the Thunder with the 11th pick in the 2010 draft. Now, we kind of talked about this the other day, that there's only one player left in the 2010 draft, and that's Paul George. You still have Gordon Hayward, who's out there, who could possibly be in the league again, but who knows with the way he played with the Thunder, probably not. I remember being so pumped up that Cole was on this team. I mean, I remember like the only draft content that was out there was probably Bill Simmons and it was Chad Ford. And like those were the guys. And Cole Aldrich was thought to be a starting level center. And the Thunder didn't have a pick in this range. And they had the 18th pick and the 21st pick. One of those ended up becoming Eric Bledsoe, which would have helped. Also, Avery Bradley was in this range. But trading up, they also the 26th pick. I remember we used to think about Quincy Pondexter, who was just like, he had a cup of coffee in the NBA, but was never some great player or anything, but was more of like a 3-and-D type of guy, but never really put it all together. But I remember being so pumped up, and we were at Luke and Alex had a place in Norman, and we watched the draft together there. And I remember we heard about the trade, and we were all just like, they had done it. This guy's going to be the future center of the Thunder. He's 6'11", 240 at the time, probably. And boy, his rookie season, 1.1 rebound per game. It's like, okay, we'll give him some time. He was already 22. That's something that I don't think I realized at the time, was that Cole was already 22 his rookie season. Age 23, second year. All right, Cole Aldrich, here we go. 2 points, 1 rebound. Before he got dealt, he was actually dealt in the Harden trade. He ended up not even making it in Houston very long, but like just a career backup. Had some success in Minnesota, I remember, was just like an okay backup, but like never made it. Never averaged more than 5 points per game. So that was an ultra disappointing one, especially drafting a guy in the lottery, drafting a big in the lottery. You know, we talk about drafting bigs in the lottery all the time on this show, and I'm just almost totally against it. So yeah, Cole Aldrich. I think he is our first D tier player on the center rankings. Let's move on to a player that was very impactful to the Thunder, in Kendrick Perkins, who the Thunder traded a first round pick and Jeff Green for. Essentially was the deal. Perk was a good player for the Thunder for a long time. Really helped establish a culture for them. And boy, was also disappointing in a lot of ways. Just statistically, never really did a whole lot for them. Was a guy that Bill Simmons just talked about ad nauseum that they should have amnestied. And I get the whole conversation, but man, the Thunder did need Perk at the time. They absolutely needed Perk because they were in a Western Conference that had Nene, it had Tim Duncan, it had Andrew Bynum, Pau Gasol, it had a ton of really good big men. It had Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph. It had like so many players. And they needed a big like him. They absolutely needed a big like Perk. And was he like the best player? No, but was he something that they needed at the time? Absolutely. They absolutely needed a guy like Perk at the time. And so I don't, obviously the biggest what if in my mind in Thunder history is the Tyson Chandler trade. And I really think that trade really could have shaped NBA history in a pretty big way. And it did not end up working out. They ended up rescinding the trade. And then they didn't even deal Jeff Green or a pick in that deal, or a first round pick in that deal. And then you have to give up Perk or Jeff Green and a first round pick, which looking back, it's like, it's not all that much that they had to give up. But, Perk definitely helped bring them into a new era. And I remember being so excited for him. They ended up agreeing to an extension with Perk before he even played much for the Thunder too. And so he stuck around for a while. I think that he really helped this team with toughness on the inside. He and Serge Ibaka were just a terrifying defensive problem. But yeah, I think that it's fair to put Perk at the B tier for centers. Nazir Muhammad is somebody else that they had acquired at the time. They acquired them both at the trade deadline. I think he's probably a C-level player. I thought he was helpful in their finals run. He actually stuck around for a long time. I think he was a really good culture guy. He's still around the team now. So yeah, I think Nazir Muhammad probably another C-ish level player for OKC. The next player on the list, Hashim Thabit, was also a part of this team. He's a D-level player. He was fun. It was fun to have the second overall pick and a guy that was actually rumored to go to the Thunder in that draft, but luckily the Memphis Grizzlies took him before. With the Thunder, he played 2 seasons. That was actually his last 2 seasons he played in the NBA. He averaged 2 points, 3 boards, not even a block per game. in only 11 minutes. So just like didn't do a whole lot. He did have the one moment where in the James Harden game when he returned, uh, it was he had the moment where he got ejected and then brought back in the game, um, which was fun. It was a fun time. That was probably like the only Hashim Thabit memory that I have. So cool, but definitely a D. Okay, so after Hashim, let me know if you have memories of these players uh, in the chat. Would love to just hear from you in the chat about what you guys thought about some of these centers, because honestly, there's not a whole lot to talk about with these guys, and I would love someone to comment along with me. Let's see, anybody else? Yeah, I think that covers kind of that era. Perk, Nazim Muhammad, the Cole Aldrich experiment, which did not end well for OKC. Those guys were kind of at the helm for a while, honestly. Through it was a lot of Perk, Nick Collison. Daniel had a cup of coffee with Daniel Orton, who just looked like giant Russell Westbrook. Um, let's see who else. Okay, now we get to the Thunder drafting Steven Adams. So this is with the kind of the big prize of the James Harden trade was this pick from Toronto that ended up being the 12th overall pick in a really bad draft, and or 2013 draft, sorry. And they picked Steven Adams, and I'm sure there's very, very few of you that were actually Down to Dunk listeners then. But Jay and I did a podcast the night of that draft, and we did not want Steven Adams. I'll tell you that. Like, we did not want Steven Adams. We were very wrong for that. Steve-O is probably our first A-tier center. He was actually really good for OKC for a long time. Obviously tough as nails. He showed that from the very beginning, that he was just tough as nails. One of the best offensive rebounders in the league, period. Had an era where he was actually 7th in Rookie of the Year votes his rookie season, which I don't quite remember. Some of that is that it was just a horrific draft class, but did get in 2017-18. He was 12th in Defensive Player of the Year votes, 6th in Most Improved Player of the Year votes. He had almost 14-9 and 1 assist, 1 steal, 1 block. Pretty good. 62% from the field. Very good. He was probably a better passer than what the stats say, and kind of showed that a little bit more when he was in Memphis, particularly. But a player that really helped this Thunder team. And had they actually won the title in 2016, I think he's clearly remembered fondly. You had all the Stash Bro stuff. His personality was just outrageously funny. There's moments I remember, just he's a guy that he was always approachable, always kind, always hilarious. Always had a billion curse words just flying out of his mouth, but always like funny and kind within all of that. I remember at Media Day, this was the 2018 Media Day, I believe, or 2019 Media Day. And, I always asked Steve-O to do the Down to Dunk intro, and every time I did it, he always obliged. And that particular one, I was asking him if he would say, because we were just, this was at the point where it was a little bit of the Wild West for me as a Down to Dunker, where I didn't have like a place I could be during the media day except for in like the big room, but I wanted to talk to the players to get them to do the intro. And so I kind of would go and stop them and just ask them to do it. And I did this multiple times. This is how I got Steven Adams multiple times. This particular time I was going around asking some people to say, my name is whatever, and I'm down to Dort. And there is a hilarious, just so funny interaction that I had with Steven Adams, where he just did not know who or what Dort was. and it is absolute gold. And then clearly, like the best intro ever was the 2016 media day, which was for the 2016-17 season, which ended up being Russell Westbrook's MVP season. And it was one of the best moments in my media day career with the Thunder, in that I got Steven Adams in the hallway, and I'm like, "Hey, will you do this Down to Dunk intro?" And he's like, "Yes, I'll do it." And then the best thing happened is that Enes Kanter walks by, and Steve-O grabs Enes and pulls him in and said, "Well, you got to do this with me." And I'm just like, "Yes, please do this intro with him." And they proceed to just be so funny because, one, they just can't remember what I'm telling them to say. Um, it's just like, "Hey, this is Steven Adams, and you're listening to the Down to Dunk podcast," or something like that. And he just can't remember. He calls it like the Down to Earth podcast. Enes Kanter stops and says, whenever it was going to be like, "Hey, this is Steven Adams and this is Enes Kanter, and you're listening to the Down to Dunk podcast." That's all they had to say. And Steven says, "Hey, this is Steven Adams." And then Enes Kanter says, "And this is Kevin Durant." And they just start cracking up. And Steven Adams says, like, he's like, "You're Kevin Durant, mate." He, and he's like, "Good to see you, mate." He said, "Different complexion." And it's so funny. It was just so funny. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys remember that intro, but it's worth going back and listening to. I think those episodes are archived. I don't think they're on YouTube, but you can definitely find them probably on the podcast app. And it's worth just going to listen to the intro back then. Um, but Steve-O was just always the best. Personality wise, there's 100 stories about the guy and what he meant to the city, and how he helped. He was the perfect center for Russell Westbrook, just because he needed just a big guy to set just monster screens and roll and get offensive rebounds. And I mean, he was obviously just excellent at boxing out too, so that Russ could get offensive rebounds and play faster. I mean, there's just so much to it that puts Steve-O at the A tier. It's hard to put him at S tier because that's like reserved for like all stars, all NBA type of guys, but he's certainly an A tier guy. Just an amazing guy. I hate that he's playing for the Rockets. Absolutely hate it, but I do wish him all the best. In the chat, Stash Bros for life from Max Wilbert. Question from DB: No Byron Mullins. Byron Mullins just didn't play that much for the Thunder, and he's somebody that I do remember quite a bit. Byron, don't call me BJ Mullins, but he didn't play enough to count. He's definitely somebody that I remember very well and had like some level of excitement about, but no, he did not make the cut. Did not play enough. Okay, the next player, Enes Kanter, who has just turned himself into quite a character, right? He's probably another B list player, a really talented big man, outrageous rebounder, just a great rebounder. Let's see. In OKC, in 21 minutes per game, he averaged 8 rebounds in his first full season, that 15-16 season with the Thunder. 12 and 8 in 21 minutes. I mean, that's pretty good. He was third in Sixth Man of the Year that year. He started off, he played 26 games for the Thunder in 14-15 when he just kind of had free reign in his 31 minutes. He had averaged 18 and 11. I mean, the dude was just a stat monster. I mean, he just come in and just get bounds. He could score. He had great touch around the hoop, great offensive rebounder. But man, there were just, he just was never the defender that you wanted him to be, never the passer that you wanted him to be. He got a little bit better with the Thunder, and then the stats got a little bit better when he was with the Knicks one year and with Portland, and he just kind of bounced around. But he's kind of just become a character now in his later career, with everything in the politics and all that, which I just have no interest in touching on. But Ennis is a B-level player. It was disappointing that they didn't end up with Brook Lopez, but there were issues with Brook Lopez's contract and that they didn't feel like they could keep him for very long. But we'll always remember the can't play Cantor moment from Billy D, who leaned over, and I'm sure he didn't realize that he was on camera on national television saying this, but the fact that he said it and you could see him say can't play Cantor was just like, oh boy. And because it's can't play Cantor, that just became a part of who he was. I'm surprised that that's not a nickname for him on Basketball Reference, which the only one on there is Ennis the Menace, which never called him that ever in my life. Okay, moving on to let me look at the tiers down here and see if I've missed anybody yet. I don't believe that I have. Okay. Nerlens Noel, who is so fascinating in so many ways. Signed with the Thunder, one of the best free agents the Thunder have ever gotten, and was a part of the highly disappointing team from the 18-19 season. So this was the second run of Paul George, Westbrook, and they signed Nerlens Noel. I was very pumped. I thought he was actually pretty good for OKC. The stats don't say a whole lot. His first year, 5 points, 4 boards, and 1 block per game, and only in 13 minutes. That's actually not too bad. Like the per minute production there is not bad. Per 36, he would be 12 and 11 with 3 blocks per game. Not too shabby. He was clearly, though, just like not the most impactful player. Had really bad hands, honestly, just catching the ball as like a roll man. But I would put him as a C list player, probably the best C list player on there. Let me know in the chat if you have any disagreements there with Nerlens Noel. Then we kind of enter in. Steven Adams kind of stays around. They brought in Mike Muscala, and they actually signed Muscala and Alec Burks. I don't know if you guys remember that, but this was when they traded Paul George and Russell Westbrook that summer, and they brought in Mike Muscala, brought in Alec Burks. They wanted to use those guys to help that Paul George, Russell Westbrook team. I think they had every intent of bringing everybody back. And Moose decided to stay. Alec Burks left, and he went to the Warriors. And actually, remember the Warriors? That was the year the Warriors were awful, just awful. And he thought he was going to a better team. Ended up like he probably would have been pretty good on this Thunder team that year. But Mike Muscala, great dude. Obviously, he retired this year. I'm going to put him right here behind Nerlens in the C tier and ahead of Nanad. So, I mean, obviously one of the best guys that has worn a Thunder uniform, just as far as people goes. Good player, good shooter, kind of helped establish style of play, which I thought was very helpful. Derek Favors is a guy who the Thunder had traded for in the kind of the tanking era. Giant Dort. They ended up getting a first-round pick for taking him on, which is not conveyed yet. He's a D-level player. Al Horford is probably – it's so hard to evaluate Horford. He's probably a B-tier player because he was actually pretty good and was part of those conversations, like the too good to tank conversations with Horford during that one tanking year. He didn't play a ton. Remember, he got sent home, and he played 28 games for the Thunder, played 27 minutes per game, averaged 14, 6, and 3. He's another player that helped establish style of play, 36% from 3 on 5 attempts per game, which is 5.4 is a career high for him. So he helped establish that style of play, help with the ball movement, in the 28 games, sat the rest of the season, which I think kind of helped propel his next 3 years, where he ends up going and winning a title with Boston, and good for him on that. But I thought that he was actually a pretty good and pretty helpful player. Can't be a B tier player if you only play 28 games, said Don Beckham. That's a good argument. I think with how he played, I think that's fair. I think it's fair to probably bump him down to C. I think that's probably correct. If he would have played the full season or 2 seasons at that level, I think that he's B. So I will stick there. Moses Brown, probably another C level player who, boy, did he put up some stats. We got to look at some Moses Brown stats because Moses with OKC had a 2020 game. He really crushed it for OKC. This is his second season. He averaged 8 points, 8 boards, and a block per game in the 2021 season. He had some monster games that made people think that, like, okay, this guy, we got to lock this guy down. He's, protecting the rim. He's doing so much for us. This was against it was against Boston in a big loss, but he had 21 points and 23 rebounds in this game. He had a 20-point, 12-board game. He had 18 and 12 one game, 12 and 15, 16 and 7. He had a 5.18 rebound game. He had a 6.17 rebound game. His final game for the Thunder against the Clippers, which the Thunder desperately needed to lose, and they gave him 19 shots in this game. Holy smokes. Moses Brown took 19 shots in a game. And in that game, 24 points, 18 boards, 3 assists, and 7 blocks. Holy smokes, what a monster line. 24, 18, 3 assists, 7 blocks for Moses Brown. Wow. That is certainly a somebody's got to score the points all-star right there. Unbelievable. Dario Saric, gosh, he came in for a little while, made a small impact on the team. I'll put him at the D tier. Jay Will is another C level player for me, a fun player. I think that he's still developing. He's still pretty young. Jay Will is a very fun player. Obviously, the personality is just unrivaled. Just a fun guy, and a guy that I think if it were up to me, would be a mainstay on the Thunder for a long time, and a guy that really deserves to have a spot just because of what he means to this team, the camaraderie. He's not the best backup, but he's a great third big to have, because inevitably, if Hartenstein or Chet miss some time, you feel good about Jay Will coming in and playing minutes there. And that leaves us with Chet Holmgren, who's S tier, clearly. The only S tier center in this list. He's only played 1 year, but it's quite obvious that what Chet's trajectory is, and that was the case from the night of the draft. The guy goes second overall, had a chance to be the number 1 overall pick. Didn't end up working out there, but clearly that's okay. In his rookie season, 16.5 points, second in rookie of the year voting, by the way, 16.5 points, 8 boards, 2.4 assists, 2 blocks, shot 37% from 3 and 4 attempts per game. I think that the attempts needs to increase, but clearly the only S tier center on this list. Long P asked about Nick Collison. Nick Collison undoubtedly is a center in today's game, but played a lot of power forward and played next to a center a lot. And so I don't have Nick as a center, and maybe that's wrong, but I just kind of remember him as more of a power forward for the Thunder. And he's on the forwards list. Anybody else that I left off of here? So I'll go through this list for everybody that is listening and not watching on YouTube. If you would check out our YouTube page, this is actually a good pod to watch on YouTube, so you can see where these guys are all at. But in the S tier, Chet Holmgren. In the A tier, Steven Adams is the only A tier center. In the B tier, I have Perk and Enes Kanter. And then in the C tier, which is where most of these guys are, we have Nerlens Noel, Mike Muscala, Nenad Kristic, Jay Will, Nazim Muhammad. Al Horford and Moses Brown. And then in the D tier, we've got Cole Aldrich, whose nickname is Cole Sore, which I found out last night. Cole Sore? Yikes. Hashim Thabit, Derek Favors, and Dario Saric. Some people in the chat mentioning other guys, Dakari Johnson. Shout out to Dakari Johnson, but no. Francisco Elson, shout out. No way. Johan Petro didn't play as much as you think he did. Joe DeGangsta Smith. Joe Smith didn't play enough either. Connor Anderson says, I remember seeing Hashim Thabit at the Apple store one time. Insanely tall person. Yeah. Insanely tall person. Lots of insanely tall people on this list. Let me know what you think. Mitch McGarry he's on my forwards list. He was listed as a forward on Basketball Reference from Christian A. We did some Mitch McGarry talk there. Nate 27, Michael Cage. Shout out to Michael Cage. He would probably make the B tier list for me. Please let me know in the comments on YouTube what you thought about this tier ranking, who you would have in different spots, if it's good, if it's bad, whatever you guys think. Let me know. Let me know on Twitter as well. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. And then after the break, I'm going to bring on my two sons to discuss some Twitter questions. This is something they've wanted to do for a long time. The only thing that I ask of you guys is if you'll just be kind, because these are two young guys that would love to get into podcasting and wanted to do this for the first time. And because it's the summer and there's not a whole lot going on, I agreed to it. So be kind in the comments to these guys. Be encouraging in the comments to these guys. I would very much appreciate that. Hope everybody's doing well. And after this break, we will have some Twitter questions. We'll be right back. And we're back after that quick break. We're going to do something a little bit different, a little bit special. It's a summer pod. Elman's fly fishing. Jay can't be here for work reasons, I think. No, family reasons. And Taylor can't be here for work reasons. And so decided to call upon two guys that have been trying to get on the pod for a while. And it's funny because if you want to know how old Down to Dunk is, you just have to know how old my son is, because we started Down to Dunk whenever he was just a little baby. And so on the pod, for the first time, we've got my son, Asher.
What's up?
And we've got my other son, Archie.
Yo, 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 my name is Slato, walking around like a mashed potato.
He's been working on that intro for a while. Okay.
That's right.
So we're going to do some summertime TQs. You guys actually did a great job asking questions that they can answer. And so get ready, because here come some TQs from loyal listener Bangelope. She wants to know your favorite summer sports to watch at the Summer Olympics. And so I have a list of Olympic games. There's a lot of them, guys. There's a lot of these. Just tell me when to stop, because there's a lot of these. Archery, artistic gymnastics, artistic swimming, athletics, badminton, basketball, 3-on-3 basketball. Did you guys know they're doing 3-on-3 basketball?
No, I thought
No.
it was just 5-on-5.
They're doing 5-on-5 and 3-on-3. Jimmer Fredette is like one of the leaders. You guys know Jimmer?
Nope.
You guys are too young to know Jimmer.
Yeah, no,
Beach volleyball, boxing, breaking.
What's breaking? Breaking a beat?
I think I know what that is.
I think it is break dancing.
I was right, yo.
Wow.
That's
Break
fire.
dancing.
That's fire.
Canoe slalom, canoe sprint, BMX cycling.
How do you sprint in a canoe?
Going real fast. Diving,
Oh, yeah.
equestrian, fencing, football, which is soccer, golf, handball, hockey, judo. Nice. marathon swimming. There's a bunch of these. What are these? Table tennis,
Oh, table tennis would be fun to watch.
surfing,
Mhm.
Surfing's cool.
tennis, water polo, volleyball, wrestling. Any of those? What do you guys like?
I
Uh,
like the basketball. Like I mostly watch the
I like
basketball.
I
and
like
stuff.
basketball because
The
yeah.
table tennis and like the boxing is cool and the judo.
I
the
think
judo
I
is really
might.
cool.
I mean, breaking. I mean, I wouldn't call it breaking.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna try to be watching some of this breaking.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch the
like
judo.
breaking, just like do a somersault.
Yeah. Okay. And then okay. And definitely we're gonna be watching Team USA and Team
Oh,
Canada.
of course.
And
Let's
Team
go
Canada.
Canada.
Next question from Benelophant King. If you could win a gold medal in any Olympic event, which one would it be? And would you wear your medal just during your regular life activities? Archie.
course.
Archie, we'll start with you.
I would wear the medal, and it would probably be. I'm kind of strange about the breaking, so it would be basketball.
Okay.
Yeah, I would probably get. I would wear it like I wouldn't wear it like all the time, but like when I could wear it, I would.
Yeah.
But like that's kind of weird because it feels a tad braggy. But that actually be. It would be like if you take the medal off and like pull the ribbon off or whatever, and had like a chain or whatever, like a big chain.
You want to put the medal on a chain.
Yeah,
Okay.
That would be
fire.
sick.
Then I would wear it all the time, like. Yeah, but I would do like a long jump probably. Is that
Long
on there?
jump.
Is that on
Wow.
there? Long jump
Yeah,
on
yeah,
there?
yeah.
Because I've like I always like hear like about long jumps and I've watched long jumps and stuff, and it's just like kind of hard, honestly. Some stuff that like it takes a lot of like
gotta be
leg
really
muscles
athletic.
and arm muscles, like swing yourself forward.
Yeah.
And like also the pole jumping, like that. I don't know.
Pole
what that's
Pole
vaulting.
vaulting.
Pole vaulting, yeah.
That would be cool.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. I mean,
Imagine if it snaps and like
I mean,
you're
the video-
hanging on the bar.
yeah, the videos
And,
on
like, you're
those are
stuck.
so funny, so random.
I think I would do archery.
Oh, my
Really?
gosh.
It's so hard.
It would be
I bet-
cool. It'd be cool to win a gold medal in archery.
Yeah, but you know how hard archery
It's
is?
so
I'm
hard.
telling you, that's what would make it cool.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I'm like archery, like it's so much arm strength and like, I mean, the kids, you don't.
we
think they're gonna be
did
good
we
at it,
did
are
like
good at
archery
it.
for third grade because like the medieval thing,
Yeah.
and it was so hard. But like Edward, like my friend Edward,
Shout out
he
to
got
Edward.
he got 3 bullseyes. I think.
Wow.
I think
It was crazy.
I think
you
it
know,
was 3.
Kids, I
it
didn't
might
think
have
they
been
were
2,
Hey.
but I think it was 3.
It's not surprising. Edward's just that good. Okay. Let's see. From at Alex_Bullerjack. He wants us to give our international starting 5. So anybody not from the US
out in the US.
creating a starting 5. So clearly Shea at point guard,
Shay, yeah.
Jokic at center,
Jokic.
Yeah, I feel like Luca.
Luca at
Yeah,
the other
Luka.
guard.
Luka,
Yeah,
probably
Talking to your mics, guys.
probably like Wemby.
Wimby at the forward
Giannis.
and Giannis.
Giannis,
Yeah.
So Shea,
Yeah.
Luca,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giannis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wimby,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jokic.
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be Team USA. I mean,
That would
if
be
you have like
Team
off the
USA.
bench, like who was it again? I'm trying to remember the really good player. What was his name? On France. I'm trying to remember his name. I don't know how I'm forgetting.
Gobert.
Yeah, Gobert. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought of another player that started with Rudy. I don't know why it's on
Yeah.
one of the teams that like is. I have like a 50 cards of that one guy that I'm trying.
Dude,
that's on the
Jokic would hit
T-Wolves.
like a 50-foot shot
like
with
think
his
so?
shot.
You think
I
so?
mean, his shooting.
He
is
would be
amazing.
like, he would just chunk half court shots in the
On that team?
no.
Yeah.
He better
against-
not. He'd just
against Team USA.
be dropping dimes. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
At-
and off the bench also Jamal.
Jamal Murray off the
Yeah.
bench.
Yeah.
6 man. Okay. That's a good team. At Alex_Bullerjack also wants to know, what would be the worst Olympic sport to watch in person?
Probably water polo.
Water polo? I don't think it would be.
fun. Table tennis.
I mean, once you
Table
get
tennis?
wet,
No, those people are crazy.
I know, but like there would be so many people.
Well,
Oh, there'd be so many
what
people.
about,
That'd be so
um,
hard.
trampoline.
Trampoline. Let's figure out what that means. That sounds awesome. Oh, this is
Yeah.
like people like doing
Oh,
like cool things on the trampoline, like
Oh,
jumping.
Oh,
I
yeah,
would
that'd
love
be
that.
Fun.
That actually would be one of the better ones in person, I believe.
Yeah,
that'd be really fun.
You're wrong for that.
What about weight
yeah.
fighting?
Huh?
What?
I don't know where you're reading that.
You just saw weight and fighting.
Probably like marathon swimming might be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Wouldn't that be tiring? I get
I mean-
tired swimming across
no,
a
no.
neighborhood
Well,
pool.
yeah,
like
but this
that.
is just watching. This is just you watching.
I know, but like,
Yeah, it's tiring. I think that might be one of the worst ones, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
But,
like, wouldn't you have to
I mean,
move around, or would
going-
you stay there and
But
not
here's
see
the real
half of
part.
the race?
There's a wrong part of that question. That's the question's like, there's something wrong about that. Because if you go to an Olympic sport, you can tell people that you went to an Olympic sport. It doesn't matter what it is. That's just cool and all.
It is cool, but he's just saying which one would be the worst one. He's not saying that any of them are bad. He's saying which one would be the worst one.
I
But,
mean,
none of them.
you couldn't see
I mean,
like
they would all be cool.
Marathon swimming.
you couldn't see like the whole race,
But they would still
Right?
all be cool, right?
or would you have to like walk the marathon to watch them do it?
No. I think they're swimming laps.
I think
It's not just like a gigantic like
Oh, okay. I get what this
26-mile
is.
pool.
Yeah.
okay.
that would be awesome.
That would actually be pretty
honestly.
sick. That
That'd make it so much cooler.
that would be amazing. Okay. So if you guys aren't aware, listeners or my kids were unaware, the Thunder preseason schedule dropped today. And at Ben Vance, loyal listener, wants us to rank the preseason games. So I'll read you guys the schedule starting on October 7th. That's coming pretty quick, you guys.
Oh,
The San Antonio Spurs, the Thunder play the San Antonio Spurs in San Antonio.
we win.
October
course.
9th, they play the Houston Rockets in Oklahoma
We
City.
still win.
On October 10th in Tulsa, get your tickets in Tulsa, everybody. The New Zealand Breakers. October 15th, we have the
Yeah.
Denver Nuggets in Denver.
Oh, we can,
Mhm.
And then
that's a
October
good
17th,
one.
the Atlanta Hawks come to
Oh.
OKC. So Spurs, Rockets, Breakers, Nuggets, Hawks. So let's go ahead. Let's start from the worst one and go to the best one. The Breakers, sorry to the New
Breakers.
Zealand Breakers. No one really wants to watch the
Yeah.
New Zealand Breakers play NBA team. So they go to the bottom of the
Yeah.
barrel. Let's actually see
Who's
who's on the
Yeah,
New
that's what I was
Zealand
about to ask
Breakers.
because-
Let's see if there's anybody interesting.
What
don't-
is a breaker,
That's a really good question.
and why is everything pink?
Ooh, that's actually fire. There's
I
not very
mean,
many pink
You think their
NBA
jerseys are fire?
I
mean,
think
pink
they're
is
pretty cool.
Fire.
Oh, that's
mean,
actually really
the
cool.
Heat-
Oh,
ju-
they signed Pateri Koponen. You guys hip to Pateri Koponen?
Yeah, I have like no clue who that is.
All their faces,
He's an old player.
all,
It's
all
like
the
when I
all
first
the
heard of-
faces of, sorry to the Breakers, but all of your team members' faces are just like
Okay, let's see.
wide open.
Jonah Bolden used to be an NBA
Yeah,
player.
I know. I have
Don't know who
four
that
cards of
is.
Sean Bairstow. You guys Bairstow guys?
Nope.
him.
Yeah, there's not anybody. Alex McNaught.
I thought you were saying another.
I thought that was
Alex,
McNugget, and I was like, is his dad McDonald's himself?
Okay.
Ronald
All
McDonald?
All right. Breakers are at the bottom.
but- Yes.
Breakers at the bottom.
I kinda
Okay.
wanted to
Then I'm gonna put
Rockets. Well, no.
okay.
Spurs.
It's kind of hard right now.
I would say Atlanta.
Oh, Atlanta.
Atlanta?
Yeah, because right now it would be Atlanta because they
They did get the
because
first.
they don't have DeAndre Murray anymore.
DeJounte.
DeJounte.
Yeah.
And
DeJounte.
I think they're gonna hang on to Trey Young.
I
yeah,
always
because I thought you
say-
would trade Trae Young
I
for him.
always say Trey Man.
Trey Man.
Yeah. Like when we saw Trey Young's at like Foot Locker. Like I
Yeah.
was like,
Oh, yeah.
look, Trey Man shoes.
I don't know.
Uh,
And I was like,
Alex,
and they were like, what? And I was like, Trey Man. And I was like, sorry, Trey Young.
Yeah. Oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I'll never
Yeah,
forget
Trey.
that.
Me neither.
yeah. I mean, Trey.
Okay.
I don't know.
So we have Breakers, Hawks. Now it's down
It's kinda
to
hard.
Nuggets, Rockets, Spurs. How would you rank those?
Okay, so I think Spurs are going to be better this year because they have Chris Paul. But
Yep.
he's an old Chris Paul.
He's an old
so-
Chris Paul. He's gonna help, though.
And then the
they have
Rockets.
Albert Şengün, Steven Adams. I'm trying to
Steven
remember.
Adams, yeah.
Adams,
You get-
Amen Thompson.
Yep.
Their other rookie. Who was there? Oh, Reed Shepard.
You got
the
Reed.
other rookie.
Oh
Yep.
yeah, they got Reed
Yeah.
Shepard.
Yep.
Do we
I'm actually kind of
know?
excited to watch the Rockets. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, I kind of.
I think they're going to be kind of fun to
But
watch.
who's their
Yeah.
really good player? I'm trying to remember.
I
who
mean,
their really good
Şengün's their best player probably, and
Okay.
then Fred VanVleet is also
Fred
one of their
VanVleet, I
best
forgot about him.
players. And then they just have a lot of young guys. You know,
Yeah.
their list of young players is really fun. I mean,
Yeah.
Reed Shepard, Cam Whitmore, Jabari Smith, Amen Thompson, Şengün, Jalen Green,
Oh,
Tari
Jalen
Eason.
Green.
They
Who's-
picked up AJ Griffin,
Really?
so they've got a pretty fun roster. I'm pretty intrigued to see what they look like.
I'm kind of like, I don't know why. I'm an AJ Griffin fan. I don't know why. Like, I had like cards. I have like 20 cards of him. I have like randomly cool rookie cards and college cards of him. I'm just
You-
like, I feel like this guy could be good. I don't know why. I just had a feeling. But
Probably just
I like
then
Jalen Green.
Then I ask you,
you're probably just
I-
McKellar brained.
I like Jalen Green.
Okay, all right.
I like Jalen Green.
Okay,
And
so
LaMelo Ball.
okay, and then number one, Denver Nuggets. You want to see what how the Thunder match up against the
mean,
Nuggets?
They don't have KCP anymore, so
It's a pretty fair
Yeah.
match because
So-
they got Jokic.
no, we're better
Jamal.
than them. They don't have KCP anymore. That was the game that they beat us. They had KCP, but then the other times he was hurt, right?
But they have a Finals MVP, Asher.
Yeah, but I mean, Archie, imagine if you just had a team of just
Nikola.
Jokic and like
Jokic.
2 All-Stars, and then just like Porter Jr., and then just a bunch of role players, not very many good rookies. I mean,
It's true.
I mean,
They're a pretty
Christian-
shallow team. They have a pretty
Yeah,
bad bench.
like Peyton Watson and Christian Brown haven't been doing very like.
I have
not the
so many
best.
Christian Brown cards. It's just like,
so many.
it's just like, yeah, we got our Shays, Christian Brown.
Remember what we called? Remember like I don't know how long
Okay.
we called Christian Brown that guy.
All right, we're gonna move on to our next. We're gonna move on to our next Twitter question. This is actually a really good question.
Yeah.
This is from at Snake Shootin'. If you could play one NBA player in a game of gotcha for their salary, who would it be? So if you could play an NBA player in a game of gotcha and you think you actually have a chance to beat them, who would you choose?
Past and present.
Let's just say present.
Mac McClung.
Mac McClung would. I don't know. What is Mac McClung shooting from the free throw line? Do you even know that?
No.
Why'd you pick Mac McClung?
He doesn't
Yeah,
have any
that's-
good salary.
Dude, also bad salary.
Yeah, but he's in the dunk contest every year.
Yeah, but why would you pick him?
Wait, let me think. Let me rethink that.
I picked
I would-
Jason Tatum.
60, you would have
No,
Jason
you
Tatum?
couldn't.
No, do you guys understand what this question is?
I thought
Yeah.
it was.
Wait, time out.
I thought it
I
was
gonna-
if
I would
you
pick
beat
Shaq.
them.
I would pick Shaq.
Oh,
if it was, like-
you're going for the upside. You picked Jason Tatum because he has the highest salary, and you think if you just have a smallest chance to beat him, then you get this gigantic salary. I'm actually with
Yeah.
that. I'm actually
Yeah.
there's a couple strategies.
Oh
One,
wait, what about LaMelo Ball?
Oh my gosh. You,
His jump shot looks like he's
you
doing
hate on his
squats.
jump shot. You haven't watched him in like
he's got a weird
have
jump.
watched-
He definitely has a weird jump
He's
shot.
like my jump shot.
squatting. He's literally working out his legs. His legs are just so strong at this point that he just keeps squatting.
He does have a
Yeah.
weird jumper. Okay,
it's like
so but you're gonna. Okay, I think Tatum is an interesting one.
Tatum's good.
I think Tatum would actually absolutely smoke you in a game.
Yeah,
of
he
gotcha.
would.
But
At
at
least I had a chance.
At least, I mean, Archie's got a pretty good shot. I think they.
is a
he
really
gives-
bad shooter. Like
Yeah,
there are a lot. Oh,
I mean, honestly, if I'm going to go
Rudy
realistic,
Gobert.
yeah, Gobert is probably
Yeah, I was gonna pick Rudy.
what
but-
did Gobert shoot from
I
the
mean,
free throw
because
line? This
like on a short, it said it was like he was one of the worst shooters, and I was like, yeah, because of watching him. He's, like,
63%
really,
from the
like,
free throw line, so not
I mean,
great.
he's
Not
like like
not good.
players I wouldn't want to play against. Like,
But it's not too bad.
maybe
I mean, he
old
made
play-
most of them.
maybe like an
right?
old Chris Paul. What is his? shooting
He would
stats?
absolutely smoke you in a game of
Who I'm trying to think
gotcha.
of an really old
He-
player. What about Draymond? What is his shooting still? Is he
It's
shooting really
not
good
it's
still?
not bad, but he would probably make you cry.
Yeah, he would.
He would probably punch you and send
Yeah,
you to the
that's what I was
hospital.
about to
He
say.
would send
Listen.
you.
I'm going. This one was a very easy choice for me.
Yeah.
I'm going Kenrich Williams. Kenrich
Nice.
Williams in 69 games only took 14 free throws. He shot 50% from the field. Now, do I think I could beat Kenrich in a game of gotcha? Probably not. But I'm gonna have a chance.
Yeah, you would.
And he's got some cash left on his deal. He's got a team option, which they would probably decline it if I took it over. But you're making about $14 million.
I'm gonna say
That'd be pretty
16
sweet.
It's not
million.
bad.
It'd be pretty sweet. And I feel like I actually have a realistic chance against Kenny Hustle. I don't think it's a good chance, but I think
Yeah.
I've got a realistic chance. I think Archie with Tatum is really funny. Who did you end up picking?
Me or Rudy Gobert.
Rudy Gobert. That's
I
also
would
a
have
good
a
pick.
decent a okay chance. He's just humongous.
He's humongous. What you're hoping
All
is
he would
that
do is just throw it off the backboard and slam.
you're just hoping that he misses so badly and the ball goes so far off into the one part of the gym that you just have a chance to get him.
I just
Yeah, but
hope
he's
Jason
fast,
Tatum. I
probably.
just hope Jason Tatum overshoots it. Overshoots
He's gotta
the free
overshoot it.
throw.
Yeah.
Throws it over the backboard. Has to run and get it. I'm behind him. I get him out.
Yeah.
And I win like 100 million.
No, he has like
Oh
164.
no,
something.
it's quite a bit more than that.
Look,
It's
how much did he
Oh,
get
I
paid?
thought that was
It's like
no,
164 million.
Jason Tatum
no,
contract.
it's more than that. It's a 5-year, $315 million contract. So for a game of gotcha, not too shabby.
What do you mean not
Dang,
too
he could be a
shabby?
billionaire in
That's
like-
not shabby at all.
Not shabby at all. Okay, next question from at JSNDVS. What is your greatest memory at Whitewater Bay or Frontier City?
Ooh.
Ooh,
I
have
got a
some
good
Great
one.
memories.
Okay, go ahead, Archie.
So we went to the rocking ship ride,
Oh no.
and we were
Let's talk about this.
waiting in line, and this guy right here,
Stop.
he was like, "You gotta go, you gotta go." So he tried to push me to make me go faster, but my leg fell in between the ride and the cement, and it got scraped so bad.
This is your greatest memory at Frontier City?
He
Most
brings this up whenever
memorable.
he
No,
can.
no.
Most
That's not the
memorable.
question. It's the greatest memory.
That is great.
No, it's not. That's probably your worst memory.
Most memorable.
You out of your mind.
Oh, I like,
Asher?
well, I like going to Frontier City. My friends. I love I have a lot of memories going up on the rides, and then I have a lot more memories at Silver Dollar City because
That's not the question, my
but,
man. That's not the question, my man.
but
We're talking
Frontier
local OKC establishments.
they should make a Silver Dollar City though. Yeah, but I love going on the rides. I'm a humongous roller coaster guy. I'll do anything there. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah, won't you?
I just
Of
remember
course I will.
I just remember jumping off the cliffs, the cliff dives at Whitewater Bay.
Oh,
That was the
those
first
are
thing that we would
fun.
always do as kids. That was the
Yeah.
very first thing. It's run, let's do the cliff
Oh.
dive, and then we're going on to Cannonball Falls.
Oh,
every
I
time.
mean, isn't it Hurricane Harbor now?
It is
Yeah, so,
Hurricane Harbor. They don't even have Cannonball
But
Falls
everyone calls
anymore.
it Whitewater, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so also another one is the what's the ride that Archie fell off of? Whitewater
Oh
Bay?
yeah.
Oh, the Big Kahuna.
Yeah, I fell off the big
Yeah, he
kahuna.
fell
Yeah, you
off
were
the
like
big
3
kahuna.
years old.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
then we tried to get him back on the ride, but then he was like, Mom thought he drowned.
I
No,
remember
He just fell off.
last-
No. You guys are misremembering this. This happened at
That's
the
what
end.
Mom
He fell.
told
He
me.
fell off the ride at the end.
Mom told me he was at the beginning.
Oh yeah, mom. Yeah, mom
No.
told me
That's
I
what Mom
fell
told
off at
me.
the top and I almost hit the cement.
Incorrect. Incorrect. Okay. From at Medicine Clam, hot dog or hamburger?
Hamburger.
Hamburger. I'm the hamburger
I've
king.
had 4 this week. I'm like a hamburger.
I had
guy.
one today. Dun,
Yeah,
dun,
we
dun.
Okay, if you could add, I am Kev Bot. If you could add one non-Kevin Durant or Paul George forward from the past Thunder teams, who would it be? Now let's pull up the Thunder forward rankings. So we've been doing this is rankings week on Down to Dunk,
Yeah.
and let's pull up the
Do you have a tier?
forward. That's the guard
Tier
tier.
list.
Okay, here we go.
That's
So
J-Dub.
the forwards, I mean, you already have J-Dub. He's on this team already. So the guys that you could add,
Oos.
some of these guys you guys didn't even watch. Oos, you already have Oos.
Yeah.
You want more Oos? You want double Oos?
I want more
that would be
Oos.
So funny.
We can't do double
like-
Oos.
It's like
Well, if there was double
if
Oos,
Oos
he
was
would be
a
on the
twin,
loose.
That would be
True.
awesome.
Okay, so really the real options are, and in my opinion, this would be like adding them in their prime.
Poku.
Or no, you can't add. Well, I mean, I guess you could just bring Poku back, but I mean,
That
come
would
on,
be so weird.
don't add a D-list player. I mean, come on. Okay, you're bringing them back as the player that they were in Oklahoma City. Is what I would do.
Oh.
I would say it would either be Gallinari, who
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys watched much of Gallinari, but the dude could just shoot the rock, and he was big.
Wait,
Yeah.
he can shoot Dwayne the Rock Johnson.
Stop. Okay,
That would actually be fire.
or Serge Ibaka.
Oh, Surge.
Did he say no? I mean, the answer
Serge.
answer is definitely Serge Ibaka.
Yeah.
Can you imagine Serge? I don't know if you guys watched much of Serge
Serge
Ibaka.
I've
Chewbacca.
like
But
heard about
Serge
him, I've watched
Ibaka-
some stuff.
Serge Ibaka next to Chet, like the rim protection would be
Awesome.
out of this world. He's got.
We
I
would
mean, I think
definitely win a championship.
You space him out to
Serge?
3.
Chewbacca.
It's him or Gallo probably, but I'd probably just
Yeah.
choose Serge. That's the easy one. I'd probably
Yeah.
rank them like this: of the forwards I could bring back, Serge.
It's just like a Surge or Poku then probably.
Yeah,
No-
Serge. No, it's a Poku or Oos. I would do Poku because he's
have
obviously
Oos.
better than Serge Chewbacca.
You were out of your mind. Okay, I would
Oh
go
my
Serge,
gosh.
Jeremy
Yeah.
Grant,
Yeah.
and then Gallo would be my 3.
And then like
Is
Poku
that
probably.
Nick Gallo? Like the reporter?
Yeah,
Something
we'd
like
bring
that.
back Nick Gallo.
Yeah,
He's-
he's on his shirt.
He never left. He never left. Nick Gallo never left.
He wasn't even playing for them.
How do you know? You're right. He wasn't.
Yeah. He's
Okay,
He's not even 6 foot. Wait, is he 6 foot?
Yeah, of
that's what I
course he
thought.
is.
Dude.
He's actually tall. Right?
Okay, good question.
Shout out to Joaquin Jones.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, this is one just for me at Mr. Thunder 0. Is it weird that I'm mad that Andrew forgot Wiggins in his all-time Thunder forwards rankings? Am I crazy for thinking that he should rank higher than Kenrich Williams in there?
Wait,
Yeah, you should, one, it's not crazy that you're mad at me. I'm mad at myself for it. Also, he probably does belong in the C tier. And I think it's fair to put him above Kenrich because they already have played Wiggins in more meaningful games than they played
Is
Kenrich.
that Gordon Hayward?
So, yeah, Gordo's down here at the bottom.
Why? He's like
horrible.
better than Oos and
He played horrible.
He doesn't belong. He doesn't belong on the list.
RJ, you know how much
he doesn't belong.
everyone knows
You
how
heard
much
it. You heard it, people. He doesn't belong.
That's right.
He's never. belonged.
Okay. Let's see what other
that true?
questions can we answer before we go. Oh. Okay, let's see. Who would win if the tiers players played each other, guards, forwards, or centers? It's certainly not the centers. There's not a lot of centers pulling their weight for sure. But I would say it's between the guards and the forwards. And so you have your S tier, a prime Westbrook, prime Shea, and really good Chris Paul versus prime Kevin Durant, prime Paul George, and J-Dub.
Ooh.
J-Dub won.
And then you have Serge and Jeremy Grant and Gallo on that team. And then you've got James Harden, not like the full-fledged James Harden, but a good version of James Harden. The depth definitely goes to the guards because like the A-list guards, which would be
Why is
essentially-
Josh Gideon a good role player? Star in making. Why is he there? He should be in Y.
Okay, all right, enough. Okay. Good. um,
That's
James
crazy.
Harden, Dennis Schroeder, Victor Oladipo, Dort, Kevin Martin, Giddey, Tabo, Robertson. Then like you've got Casey Wallace, and I mean it's the depth is there. There's a lot of really good guards. They've had a lot of really good guard play on their team.
You should replace Kasem with Josh.
You think
Yeah,
so?
you should.
Yes.
Well, Kaysen's got to prove some stuff first,
I mean,
guys.
he's like, he was way better than
dude,
Josh
he
this
he
season.
shoots threes more than Josh
Way
Giddey.
more.
He makes them more than him.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair
He's
enough.
not a brick.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, I would probably go with the guards just because of the depth, but the forwards are really good. The top three forwards are really good. But I think I would probably give it to the guards for the depth because the depth falls off pretty quickly. Then Melo's in here shooting bricks. When we got the Thunder version of Sabonis also in there shooting bricks. I mean, I don't know. It's just not going to work out. Let's see. Okay, last question from that dude Buffet. Is it safe to say that Presti atoned for the sins of the James Harden trade with the Paul George for Shea and J-Dub trade?
Yeah. I mean,
You heard it here first. Yep. Okay. Last question. You don't think he did?
I mean,
I
I think he made up for it. I feel like.
I mean, it's a great trade.
It's an awesome trade. Like
It's an unbelievable
every
trade.
time I talk about
Wait,
it,
what
I
was
feel
the
like it
trade?
just gets better
I'm talking about trading Paul George
for like
for Shea and all the
J-Dub.
draft picks.
It's like
oh,
Shea,
I thought you said, would it be a good trade right now to trade Shea and J-Dub?
No.
Oh, then that was a great trade.
So it's Shea, J-Dub. Who else was it? Shea, J-Dub.
Well, I mean, there's
And
still
in the future picks that are
there's
coming
still
up
more
this year.
some future picks. Well, Trey Mann was a part of the
Oh,
deal.
yeah,
He was
Trey
that
Mann.
Miami
Yeah, he
pick.
told
It
me
didn't
about
work
that.
out, but that's okay.
Trey Man should get some signature shoes so I don't have
Mhm.
to get him mixed up.
Yeah, I
I
don't
don't know
know.
about that one.
I mean, like I could say, hey, there's some Trey Mans, and you'd be like, cool. So I
Yeah.
wouldn't get him mixed up
You're
with
just
Trey Youngs.
hating on Trey Young.
Okay, all right. Last question.
That's
Final
true.
question. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Miffed and peeved.
All right. Are you miffed and are you peeved?
Yes.
Yeah, I was like, you were cutting limbs, and I was grabbing one, and I grabbed one right next to your lawnmower, and then
Yep.
your lawnmower exploded, and like there was
Facts.
smoke everywhere,
Yeah.
and the smoke smelled horrible,
Yeah.
and I still had to grab the limbs and pull them over there, but I
Mhm.
still had like smoke everywhere, so I couldn't really see the limb even though it was in my hand.
Yeah. My my zero turn mower went kaput over the last couple days. So one, if you got a zero turn for sale, let me know. Or if you know how to help me repair a zero turn mower engine, or know where I could get a decently priced zero turn mower engine, let me know. Hit me up because you got a guy in need over here. So,
Call this guy.
call this guy.
Yeah.
Super miffed about that, honestly. Anything
Yeah.
else?
Yeah, I'm miffed about two things. One, that school is like about to start. in,
Yeah.
like,
I'm sad.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Which that's gonna be horrible. I mean, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be like the best year. But like, I don't want it to start.
Yeah.
It's gonna be horrible for
And
me.
that like all my friends at church are leaving pretty much. They're going up to youth.
You're friends with a lot of guys in the grade above
Yeah.
you, and you're pretty miffed about it.
Yeah, I'm very mad about that. And
Okay.
like they're like leaving me, which
Yeah.
kind of hurts. But
They're not leaving you. They don't have a choice.
yeah, they do. I mean, they could just flunk all their classes for a year.
Thank you
That
guys
doesn't
so
matter
much
in
for
church.
listening to this edition of Down to Dunk. Hope everybody has an awesome weekend. This is a very special edition with my sons. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope everybody has a great weekend. We'll talk to you guys again on Monday.
Play-Doh out.